Morning. So once again, we're starting the day off trenching. Fun times. Fun. Anyways, we're gonna do some trenching. We might run some corn with the gleaner for a little while because it is super frosty and really cold, 24 degrees. And then hopefully we can run that Claas in some beans. That's the plan. We have 300 acres of beans right beside where we were running. We're not running all that with that Claas. We're only gonna run a load or two. But we want to try it in some beans and then focus on beans the rest of the week. Alrighty, here, let's get this thing fired up. We probably ought to let this thing warm up. So here's our boom trencher. So far it's been doing pretty good. Just kind of a slow process. Had a pretty good bit of trenching yesterday. Still got to put pipe in. But I only have this skid steer for so long, so I want to get the skid steer work done. Got a couple buddies going to help me put in pipe tomorrow. Hopefully we can lay, we got 1,200 feet, but if we got 3 of us, glue and pipe together, running string, we should get through it pretty quickly. A lot less stressed about this house once we have the conduit ran for the electric. I know a lot of people have asked about the progress of our house. They're putting down floors tomorrow, and then cabinets the week after that, so kind of in the home stretch. But in all honesty, I don't know if we'll be in it by Christmas. I'm going to push them. We're definitely not going to be in by Thanksgiving because I think once the cabinets get here, then they got to come measure for countertops and all that crap. So hopefully first week of December, that's what I'm pushing for. Don't really have a good place to mount you in this cab, but basically we should be, I think we're up to good operating temperature. Turn this thing on the auxiliary hydraulic, hit this button to put it in constant, rev my engine up, tip my boom all the way back to me, start dropping it down. You can't drive forward while you're doing this, so I'm going to put you guys down, but I like this trencher because you can drive forward. There's not a lot of trenchers that offer that option. So if anyone's interested in one of these are Boehner boom trenchers. I'm not an affiliate, but he did tell me that if anyone bought one of these because they seen it here, he would keep us in mind. I guess that means I don't know what. Oh well. Anyways, let's get to it.
Morning. Clocking in and it's just me. So we lacked like 200 bushels of space in the truck last night to hold the rest of the corn out of this field. Get this off the cart, go up to the depot and dump it, and hopefully those beans right there can start disappearing here in a little bit. I don't know, they were pretty doggone soft yesterday, so probably not. 10,000 pounds. Really gonna scrub on this trailer this winter in the shop, or maybe Landon's gonna scrub on this trailer. That stain there is just, it's like the scene of a murder. Need to clean the windshields off. I've got some drippage from something last night, it looks like. Stop at the shop and get the garden hose out. I hopped in this morning and Jeff, the guy driving for us, apparently a rock and roll fan. He had on classic rock station around here, which is fine. I mean, I love all kinds of music pretty much, but I got in and started the truck and the Red Hot Chili Peppers were on the classic rock station, and I felt classic, I guess. Does that mean I'm getting old? I don't know. But yeah, I was not expecting the Chili Peppers on the classic rock channel.
Time out. Is it just me, or does BJ look like Wes, One Lonely Farmer, when he's wearing that hat? I was editing that and I was like, holy cow.
Alright, so we're back to the depot. Just getting ready to pull a truck in, the Freightliner to dump. Right now, I'm transferring out of this bin right here into that big boy. So the reason I have to transfer is because the dryer, when it dumps, flowing through this pipe into this bin. goes up through there, into that guy. So in order to be able to keep drying corn, have to move from here to here. So right now we're running out that pipe, up that one, up the leg, into there. So the reason we're transferring out of the same bin that we're dumping hot corn into right now, because this guy, third bin, is full. Last night, Dad was actually driving truck and he was leaving empty. Came right through here and just looked out the window and saw corn shooting outside the bin. You can see it's not a huge mess. Not a whole lot there. But what happened was it was blowing corn on top of a full bin, and had he just taken off and not seen that, we would have had one heck of a mess. Good job, Dad. 2 thumbs up catching that. I'm buying him some time. The dryer's running about 800, 900 bushels an hour right now. I'm dumping considerably more than that in an hour out of this bin. So what I'll probably do after Jeff dumps these trucks is run a little corn out of this guy, make some headspace up there. That way if the pile happens to settle or shift for any reason, like when the fan comes on, no more corn runs out the side of it, hopefully. So that's why we're dumping out of the cooling bin, so to speak. And that corn, it's cold right now, so that corn's not going to be too awful hot by the time it gets in the big bin. Besides, that guy right there should take care of it.
We are getting close.
All right, we are done trenching for now. Going to eat some lunch. It is still entirely too wet to start harvesting. We're going to get some stuff moved. BJ and Jeff are dumping trucks. Dad and Jeff have been working on the draper head for the Claas combine. Got it fixed. So we're going to move it down. I don't think we're going to run any corn now. We were going to take the gleaner down and run some corn this morning, but I think by the time we do that, we'd be wasting more time than we need to. So I think we're going to eat some lunch, move some trucks, and see where we're at. Mother Mary brought us some lunch today, so see what we got on the menu.
Right out in the middle, left field.
All right, I think we're going to blow off the gleaner a little bit. I don't know if we're going to switch it over in the shop. I think really to switch over, all we got to do is switch the pulley for the rotor, or for the chopper, and that's about all we're switching at the moment. Well, no, we got to switch something in the feeder house. Forget about that. And the gleaner's changed. So today, when we run beans with that new Claas, it'll be interesting to see how fast you can change crop. I'm pretty positive if that one's spec'd right, it's the push of a button. Maybe it don't have that option, but I know it is a possibility where you can do it all from the cab. One of our other neighbors is combining this field today. So that means there's going to be traffic. So when you got a shared lane, and you got to watch yourself because, well, you don't want to get in a traffic accident on a private lane. It'd be kind of silly, but it could happen. So they have an 8250. So they're starting to dive into this corn here pretty good. The deer are going to be confused. All this corn's going to be going in 2 days. Ours is done. Theirs will probably be done tomorrow. We got 3 combines down here and probably 6 trucks between us and the neighbors. 2 or 3 grain carts. Something's going on. Something is happening. I gotta say, I like that combine. That is a corn-eating monster. Definitely a monster. Now the question is, what can it do in beans?
Probably pretend I'm dumping on one of your trucks.
Yeah. BJ said, tell the neighbor if they get in a pinch, and you know, they can just dump on our cart, and we'll take care of it for them. It would definitely help in that project. Huh? Dad's going to hook up and maybe take a sample, but I think these things are entirely too wet, which is unfortunate because it's a little after 1 o'clock. This is why it's best to get beans done early in the year.
Yeah. Good news is they should run really good once we get them because they're really brittle. I mean, they hand shell extremely easy, but they're just a bit moist. I don't feel bad. I'm gonna go with 16.5. 16.5%, that's I'm placing my bet. Now that combine's fixed on the header control cable for that head, we'll probably have to calibrate it. And I think that's what Dad's checking right now. So a while back he broke that header control cable, and that's what helps. That's how the header knows where it is on the ground, so it floats and does everything it's supposed to do right. Without that cable, you have to run it up and down manually, which may sound like not that big of a deal until you go do it for 10 hours and miss a lot of beans because of it. Much more likely to do a better job with your header control working. New plan. We're going to go take the gleaner to a cornfield that we pulled out of like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, something like that. There's 15 acres left in that field, and we're going to go run it. Now you may be wondering, why don't you take this demo combine that's already here and hooked to a corn head? Well, that is a demo machine. That is not our machine, and like I said in the last video, we had so many hours we could run that thing. We want to save them to try beans on it. So that's kind of why we're doing that. Plus we would have to unhook the header anyways, and where that header doesn't quite, it's just going to be simpler this way. I would love to run that combine. I'm really going to be sad to see that one leave. But we're going to get our gleaner and knock out that 15 acres. That'll take about an hour, probably take 2 hours by the time we get moved, and then we'll be back over here to check some beans. Pretty interesting. The field that we're going to, we got rained out of the same day that we were doing this wheat we were planting, and the wheat that was planted that day has emerged. The rest of the wheat's about 5 days behind. We already did this morning once.
You did her backwards now, right? Showing it in reverse.
Yep, we just rewound it. Hear me out. What if we were in a cab and we went?
Then you'd be complaining because I couldn't do it from the tractor. Hey, can you switch me crops?
Yeah, I got
let me
a
get my
hammer.
picture. Let me get my picture.
Dad is coming down the hill in the gleaner. It is definitely a little wider than the 8700. So one thing I think there was some confusion about in the first Claas video, it is a bigger machine than our gleaner and our 740, but it is bigger as far as capacity. Like the overall size of that combine is really not much different at all than our 740. Some people were talking about field approaches and getting it around in some of our smaller fields. It really won't be an issue. It is bigger as far as capacity. It's actually narrower, like the footprint of that machine is narrower because of the tracks. It's probably 15 foot wide, maybe somewhere in there, versus our Claas 740 and our gleaner are both 17 foot wide. So it'd actually be easier to get around with that machine in these areas than what we have now. These beans here are double crops. So we have roughly, I don't know, like 900 acres of beans, but that's counting the double crops. So there's 450 acres of double crop beans. And most of our first crop beans are right there where we just came from. So we will be pretty close to done with first crop beans this week. Should be, providing nothing falls apart. Brother BJ didn't have anyone to pick up his son. School lets out in about 30 minutes or so, so I'm gonna run the cart. Jeff's gonna truck, and then when BJ gets back, I'll take a load in. Ooh, he's got snacks. What snacks?
Okay, we're back in the old gleaner. Shelled down at the bottoms. Still too little wet to do beans. We're gonna try it here in a couple hours. Had a pretty good frost last night. Trying to finish this whole field up where we was at a week or so ago. This combine's a lot simpler than the Claas combine we was in last night. You don't have all the automation stuff on. Controls are all different. Simpler, it's pretty easy to catch on to. Claas is a good machine. It's a good machine. It's pretty simple after you get onto it. But a lot of animation there.
getting automation. Working on fun. Just getting used to it, getting it set. But it's a big difference between this one and it. This one's not near as big. They do a little better job of putting the corn in the tank, so on the ground we're just losing a few bushel. Not a lot, about a bushel and a half, 2 bushel an acre maybe. I don't know, we've checked it, I don't know. Depends on who tells you how to check it. But you can definitely see corn on the left side in the rows beside of you. You haven't harvested, you can definitely see corn there. Of course, then I got this damned old head that won't feed in, so I can't run too awful fast. It ain't an old head, it's Capella, but someday I'm gonna fix it, or I don't know. Hopefully this winter I'm gonna work on it. Get Brian out, the tractor up there. He's carting for me a little bit this morning or this afternoon. BJ had to go get his son Mason at school. There's Brian taking a picture of us.
We'll walk out here and see how the gleaner's doing. See, 2 kernels. Yeah, we got maybe 3 or 4 there. It's really not bad, especially with header loss considered. Let's walk over here. Got a couple in the marriage row, so that is definitely combine loss there. Well, I just got hit with a kernel of corn, so that's probably not good. Dad made some changes. Let's see how it looks here. So he sped the rotor up a little bit. I don't know if that helped much. Looks like there's more on the ground now. That's about the same, really. I don't know if it's any better or not. I definitely think the Claas is doing a better job. I mean, this combine's not doing bad. It's just that Claas was doing phenomenal. And that's kind of why we're doing this, why we're checking right now. Well, Bubby's back. And Dad started our cornfield, so we're gonna wait about another, I don't know, truckload or 2. This is a 28 acre field, and on the other side of a ditch we got a 120 acre field, and that's all the corn that's left in the bottoms.
Got the field done, starting on another one down in the bottoms, same kind of corn. I think there's about 28 acres this field. Make a round or so, then I'm going to see what the beans are like here pretty soon. Brian has to leave at 4 o'clock for do something about the house.
I had to go meet a guy at my house to go over some kitchen cabinets. Dad and my brother, they are heading down to this bean field. I think we're going to hook up the new Claas and see what happens. Let's just see. I want to try that thing pretty bad. Hey, I wonder if I missed the crop changeover. Jason, with this combine, everything can get switched over right there.
Everything in this machine can switch.
And that's an option, right? I mean,
correct.
You can downgrade and have to actually like move a belt back there and stuff like that, right?
It's not even belts no more. It's a pull a pin for high or push a pin for low.
But way different than the yellow
Yeah,
ones.
no taking 2 bolts out of the cylinder speeds no more.
What about your chopper knives, your stationary
Chopper knives can be moved from here.
Okay. Feeder house, everything?
Feeder house. The only thing you can't do with the feeder house, you can't raise them lower from here.
Okay.
But typically everybody's running it up anyways.
So your disowning plates, that's down there still?
Disowning plates is still down there as well.
Okay. So this is a dual drive?
So, well, the knife is dual drive, yes. But it drives from one side.
Oh, well,
But it's a dual drive knife.
One PTO.
Correct.
Still getting everything ironed out here, changing a few things, but not up to full speed yet. But 4.5 miles an hour is almost no engine load on this thing. You got her engaged at 5?
I got her cruise activated yet.
So Dad's combine has this too. My old Lexion did not, and the Gleaner does not, but it has a cruise pilot. Basically, as long as you are within a certain RPM range or certain engine load range, it will run a set speed. So right now I think as long as we don't go over 85% engine load, we're going to run 5 miles an hour. With this small of a head on this big of a combine, I'd say we could probably go faster, but I mean this is fast. This is a lot happening, especially if these were drier and it was dusty. I don't know that I'd want to go much more than 5. Looks like it does a good job spreading though. Did you change the spreader to 40? Looks like we're shaving the ground pretty good. I mean, this feels relatively flat too. A little wet. Just let the boss man back in. Salesman's hopping up with him. So that's Jason Rogers, our salesman. Can't thank him enough for bringing this machine down here and giving us the opportunity to try it out. This has been really, really awesome. Eye-opening. Really glad we got to try it in beans because that header's doing really well. Only problem is these beans are wet and the ground's a little tackier than we were expecting. I mean, it's definitely runnable. We've ran way worse, but I don't think we're definitely not gonna finish this field today or tonight. It's a little after 5 now, probably about 6. Yeah, it is 6. Dad's gonna make him a round or 2 in it though. Basically, we're gonna try to finish off a couple trucks. That's gonna be it. The moisture on these beans is running 16 to 17, so it's wet. The good news is we've got a bunch of 9% beans and 8% beans, so they'll blend. See, the sample's pretty clean up top there. Now when I was running it, there was a little bit of splits in it. We made some adjustments. Be curious to see how they look here in a minute. We're gonna get covered in dust. I do this for you guys. I hope you appreciate it because I hate bean dust. We're gonna walk up beside this thing for a second. Thing spreads really good. You can see we can adjust it to spread further. We go much further though, we're going to be kind of throwing it into standing crop. That's about as good as you'd want it to be, I think. A little bit about Claas combines. So our 740 Claas here, when we first got those machines, so we had 2 of them. I had one. Like, I purchased one and Dad purchased one, and from 2017 until when we get the Gleaner 21, those were our machines. That's what we ran, 2 740s. These machines are corn animals. I mean, I would put this Class 7 combine today up against any other brand's Class 7 combine. I mean, it is a corn eater. It does a really good job. And at the time that was made, like when it was new, there wasn't much better, in my opinion, on Class 7 machines. Now, what's different about this combine versus that combine? So if that was a Class 7 equivalent, like this 740 was replaced by a Claas Lexion 7500, there's a lot of things different. So one thing that sucks about these combines, the changeover process from crop to crop was never fun. This combine has So as the crop goes into the machine, there's an impeller flipping crop into a cylinder, which is right there. That cylinder flips it into another impeller that flips it into 2 rotors. So this cylinder to change speeds, to go from corn to bean speeds, was really cumbersome. Not a fun process. Basically they made that to where it's a push of a button. Don't know why it took that long, but hey, it works now, works great. Just did it. So that's different. This chopper hasn't been offered in a long time. The choppers are a lot better. There was a better option when we got this one, but Dad was cheap and that's the one we got. So that's different. The cooling system's the same. I did notice that. Most everything else is bigger. That cylinder, it became bigger. By being bigger, we could run it slower. By running it slower, you're easier on crops. So that's good. The rotors, they got bigger. I believe there's more cleaning area in it. All these are good things. Also, the color change, that's opinion. I really like the yellow and black personally. I think it looks awesome. Now, I believe that was the case because of basically Claas trying to get in the North American market. They partnered with Caterpillar at one time, and that's why they were doing that for brand recognition. That has been their lifelong colors. Now, another thing different about that's a 23 model. Cab's completely different than ours and completely different than a 22. Well, to a point. The armrest in a 22 is the same. The armrest in a 20 is the same. The handle on most combines, the handle on like 2016 and up Claases is the same. But the cab's a little bit bigger, has a different chair, has a few other nice features. Cab is a big improvement. Really like that cab. Didn't think it'd be that noticeable, and it is. What else became different in 23? I think there's more horsepower in 23 model year. A couple other little odds and ends things. The bin extensions, they fold a little different. So, yeah, pretty nice changes. Now, one thing about Claas that a lot of people misunderstand, they are not owned by AGCO. So, a lot of people assume that is an AGCO brand. Even people that are in agriculture that just aren't around Claas equipment. That's not an AGCO company. Claas is a family-owned company. The CEO of Claas, his last name is Claas. It is made in Germany. Some people like that, some people don't like that. It is what it is. It is made in Germany. It is a family-owned company. I think that's pretty cool. Just thought that was a little bit of info that you guys might like to know. Now I'm gonna go find my coffee because, well, the temperature's dropping and I'm cold. Overall, this was not a super productive day. We were really planning on really hammering beans, but they never really dried out. They're still not really dry enough. If we did not have that combine here, we probably wouldn't run beans today. Probably would have stayed over in the gleaner running corn, but we did want to try that machine. And it's got to move on to other demos. I wonder if Dad's heard of auto steer. So I can't remember if I said before, but this combine's capable of running a 50-foot head, but they only had a 40-foot head for us to try demoing. So that's why we're running a 40-footer on this very big combine. Hey, I bet Bubby's got heat in there. It's getting cold. Probably gonna be in the 20s tonight. Dad's got the lights on. This Convio header has 6 big LEDs built into the header, which I think is pretty cool. So we gotta get dusty again because I need to see that. I need to see it up close and personal. Be interesting if he turns around and goes back through the dust, how well they do. Right now the dust is behind him, but it's moving this way. When he turns around, I'm curious how well they do. Curious if they're gimmicky or if they actually are usable. So thanks for watching, everybody. Again, I do want to thank Ohio Ag for the opportunity to demo that combine, and Jason, our salesman, for bringing it down. I would love to tell you guys that combine is going to stay here, but at the end of the day, numbers are numbers. See what we can come up with. But I really enjoyed running that combine. So of all the machines I've ran, it's pretty high on my most impressive list, if not the most impressive I've ever ran. But anyways, thanks for watching, folks. If you would, do me a favor. Thumbs up the video if you haven't. Subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying it, and we'll see you in the next one.